Thanks for joining us here at Coffs Harbour CEX International Stadium for the 2022 State of Origin Series. We now move to the Women's Open Division. James Preston and Jackson Mills in the commentary booth with you. And this one should be an absolutely red-hot fixture, Jackson.
Yeah, I just finished an apple. I should have got some popcorn. This is going to be an absolute cracker. Queensland very dominant in the first game, 4-0 over New South Wales. New South Wales couldn't even go forward at all during the entire game. So I'm sure there's been some analysis done by the New South Wales coaching staff. Let's get into this one.
Aboard they come here, Queensland, having already picked up a very good victory in that first match. Curtis tips it on, finding Susie. Susie has gone all the way through, and unfortunately, it's not the start that New South Wales would have wanted. Far too easy there, Jackson.
Great try set up between Susie and Sammy Jo Curtis back on the inside. A little cheeky ninja play, open side quickie, catching the New South Wales middles napping. But it's interesting. We saw yesterday Hayley Maddock had an absolute blinder where she was the go-to girl for Queensland. In that case, using Hayley Maddock as a decoy and going back the other way. So that might be a ploy that Queensland can introduce into this one.
New South Wales looking to hit back early on here. The touch comes in on Danny Davis, one of the two Davis sisters. Driving forward and trying to just open up a gap there was Courtney Young. Last play now, though, for the Blues. 7 away. What can they work here? Young gives it on to Davis. Rogers, tries to flick pass and goes straight into the breadbasket of Queensland. Certainly not what Sammy was after there. So the Maroons already with a great start here and a chance to keep pushing upfield. Just shy of the halfway line now. They head towards the subs box. It's a good transition too. Catherine Sargent drives forward. However, they've left that one behind Queensland. From left to right, they come here. Duff offers it off to Dybel, one of many Manly players in this lineup. I think you mentioned, Jackson, it was 8 players featured in the New South Wales side from Manly. Very strong club. Here is Rogers now, moving forward. Dropping back under the inside. Duff. Still looking to open them up here with DeFore. Duff, DeFore, and back to Duff. Can't go anywhere at the moment, though. This defense from Queensland is just relentless. Here is Duff looking for DeFore, and once more shutting it down so quickly. How do you combat that, Jackson?
Well, it was 4-0, yes, in last night's game where Queensland really backed their defence. So they're going to be so confident on their line, probably more relaxed than yesterday. So it's going to be a mammoth task for New South Wales. They didn't score one try in the game yesterday. So if they score one, that's going to bring a hell of amount of confidence to the team as Queensland got a good roll on now through Susie.
Here's Curtis dropping it off. And speaking of dropping off, left behind there on that occasion from Catherine Sargent. The New South Wales once more can work it upfield, of course. Take a close look as well at Lucia Files in those orange boots. She was absolutely dynamic for Queensland and also for the, I believe, the Southwest Queensland Swans in the NTL Inferno League back in May. One of the best players throughout the entire tournament. Here they come, New South Wales now. Slattery opening things up. Just getting the touch in time. I think they retreated the required distance. Yes, they did. Referee on the spot. Ward's in favour of Queensland, but that's better, though, from New South Wales.
Great start from New South Wales. Slattery taking it upon herself to scoop from dummy half, backing her foot speed. Good touch again by Mayolo, really fronting up to the Queensland attack. I'd say New South Wales seem to be on top momentum-wise. I know the score says differently, but Queensland having a bit of a tight tussle trying to get through their substitution box, where that's 3 sets and 3 errors in a row. So if New South Wales can capitalise on their attacking weapons through the likes of Davis, Slattery, and Dybal, New South Wales are in for a hell of a shot.
Yeah, pressure certainly coming here from New South Wales. They're giving Queensland a bit of a taste of their own medicine as Slattery puts on the big dummy. Now Pappenhausen jumps into dummy half. Fresh plays onto the field and hitting it at pace too. That's nice from Courtney Young. Drops it off. Last play now. This is a great opportunity for them. Dybal off the left foot. She's so sharp off it. Trying to wrap around to provide an option there for Nicholas. They just get the touch in time there, Queensland. Once more, so hard to break down. It's like the Great Wall of China out there.
Unfortunately for Puka Duff, making the touch on the link, so the Queensland had numbers. It was another error. That's 4 in a row from Queensland.
Well, they keep inviting opportunities. Eventually, you would imagine New South Wales can capitalise here. Can't give a good side this much ball.
Queensland getting plenty of defensive practice early.
Nicholas. And now up comes Pappenhausen, wrapping around with Crawford. Further wide still, finding Duff. Fresh players onto the field. Queensland come up. Oh, strong touch there. Ran directly into the defender as before. Comes forward, stepping off the right foot. Last play now. A little bit slow, though, on this occasion for New South Wales. And Queensland were able to match up to them. Still alive here, though. Have they managed to work an overlap? Oh, nearly. But then coming across was Walsh with an important touch.
Great touch again by Rachel Walsh and Queensland, showing why the defensive efforts are so good. And yeah, getting folded off the ball was Walsh. Michaelopoulos making a strong touch in defence. But again, would you call that another error? That's 5 in a row from Queensland. They're not going to be too happy, but as soon as they get that roll on, Queensland might be very deadly, but New South Wales just need to execute an attacking play in this set.
Well, try and do so through Rochelle Davis, who delivers
Right.
short. Great touch coming across, though. Just got there in time. Davis now at acting half. Receives it back towards the middle. Up they step once more, Queensland. Oh, just behind Danny Davis on that occasion. Not a great delivery. Slattery looking for numbers there. Geez, they've marked up well on that occasion. Queensland shifted the entire side to the left-hand side of the field, Jackson.
They did exactly that. And again, Queensland looking strong in defence. They look fast. They look sharp. Just need to get their attack flowing. But I tell you what, James, apart from last night, we do have our games in our hand. Only 1-0 early in the first half, and it's been all New South Wales ball. Queensland have had one shot on the line and have scored from it. A good touch there. Shelley Davis on file.
Yeah, File's such a dangerous player too. Need to be watchful of her. Davis plays it. Slattery comes forward. Now shifted on from Maiolo. Wrapping around. Danny Davis promotes the footy. Now Rogers in at acting half. Having a run herself. Receiving it back from Davis. Fresh players onto the field. Good meters here as well. Now Rogers can work something. Little bit of a backward momentum here from Queensland. Was that played at? Referees are on the spot.
Ooh.
No, they're going to suggest that's completely fine. Ooh, that was touch and go there on Markey.
I thought Marky might have put a little mid out, but referee's on the spot. I was going to say, for New South Wales, last year, Hannah Dyball scored 4 tries, which was double the next player in her team. So Dyball, if she can get her hands on the ball, she could be the one likely to break open for New South Wales.
And Queensland with another error there. That's 6 of their last 7 sets that have ended in an error. So New South Wales have been given plenty of opportunities in the first 7.5 minutes as Young comes forward. There is Hannah Dyball. Got a great left foot step on her. A wonderful turn of pace. Dyball operating close to the line. There she is. Jackson, you've called for her, and Hannah has delivered. We have a level ball game, 1 try apiece with about 7 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock.
New South Wales need to keep the pressure on now. You can't let Queensland hit a quick try straight back. They're in good field position. Off the tap as we see Maddock head out into the middle of the park with Walsh. My N, Hinarangi, Andreasen. Now that's a lot of strike power on the pitch, but
Not good here for Hannah Dyball. She's in a whole world of trouble. As the trainer attending to her.
it seems to be nodding their head, so it doesn't look too bad for Dyball at this point in time. She can just run it off. Could be a little stinger. Could just be winded, but she looks okay in the background.
Certainly the Blues will be hoping for her return. Great little inclusion there to gather a try and such a dangerous runner of the ball in general. I'll come forward here with Andresen. Touch now on her. Last play. Dummies. Oh, opens up the pass. Well covered, though, in defence from New South Wales. That was looking dangerous. It's a wonderful shift across.
Lovely.
And that was indeed the last play. Queensland actually lost track of the count.
Again, Pappenhausen using her foot speed to cover out that long ball. Unfortunately, ball going to ground, but she did so well in the defensive effort to chase out and save a try for New South Wales. And
Players going down everywhere as well here. Andresen been retreating in defence has toppled over, and now she's hobbling too. So Dyball and Andresen both in a bit of trouble here at the moment. I think look at Dyball on the sideline. She seems okay now. Andresen jogging it off, which is good to see. Queensland will get a chance here to launch an attack themselves after just over 9 minutes of play.
again, it's interesting. We've seen them use Maddock twice now as a decoy, so she'll probably get the ball in hand this set, looking for that big right to left pass that she possesses.
Susie in the centre of the field, waiting for the defence to come up and engage her. Davis does exactly that. Long ball comes out, well covered though, stepping back away from the sideline. It's play on for Queensland. They can open things up once more. Maddox tips it on. Rogers kept the width nicely, waited for support from the link. Still live here though for Queensland. Ball comes My. Still have not made the touch here, New South Wales. It's a very, very long play. Finally, it comes in. Bit of a mix up there. Susie, My floats it over the top. Great ball, but well covered. Nice stuff from New South Wales in defence. Just didn't let Rackerman get away with it.
Great scramble defence there by New South Wales. Great scramble defence and a good touch in the corner by Crawford. So good confidence boosting now for New South Wales. They just need to get their drive up the other end. They struggled with it yesterday, but it seems to be flowing a bit better this morning for New South Wales.
Yeah, it's a good run there from Rochelle Davis as they get the fresh players back onto the field. Just the two of them operating at the moment before support arrives. In comes Danny Davis off the left foot. Oh, Young had opened up a gap, but unfortunately an indiscretion beforehand, so they can't take full advantage of it. But much better signs there from New South Wales. They rolled upfield nicely, especially that run from Rochelle Davis. Queensland now.
It is a bit better. Good to see. Good to see them rolling forward. That's going to be do them a lot of good for their confidence, James. A lot of good.
Yeah, one try apiece. At least they've cracked the scoreboard this time round. 4-0 in the first fixture between these two sides in the Women's Open Division. The New South Wales are in this up to their eyeballs. Oh, that looked to be flat at best, if not forward. Sargent will continue on here. Last play now. Files with the long ball certainly drifted forward. And good thing too, because Sammy Rogers had lost her footing there. That could have created a few problems for New South Wales.
Yeah, Files could have executed that nice long ball. Rackerman was walking over untouched. Sammy Rogers just using up the clock, allowing the New South Wales players to get their breath back. Again, we saw this yesterday, James. New South Wales electing to go away from the box. It didn't do them too much good yesterday. And possibly getting a bit unstuck there, the Blues. Again, eventually third touch finding their way to the substitution box.
And a good hand from Young because it was a tough one to take. But you mentioned it's taken them a little while to get into this set. They only reached the halfway line on the final play, and now Slattery comes forward looking to just get a few extra metres. He passed that one after the touch on the last anyway, so changeover to come here for Queensland. Just over 12 minutes have gone. This one really evenly poised at the moment. New South Wales certainly be looking to just crisp things up a little bit. Fresh players onto the field now for Queensland. My is there. So too is Walsh. Walsh operating through the middle. Touch comes. Ball over the top from Andresen, who's back out there. So she's recovered from her little injury not too long ago. Forward they come once more. Queensland, the ball popped over the top. One of those awkward passes just in between the link and wing. Couldn't quite find either of them, though.
Well, there's actually a winger coming in to throw the ball. Normally, you don't see wingers passing too many long balls. They're normally the ones receiving them. And Marquis should be receiving them. She scored 5 tries in her last campaign. Has scored a number. Has Rachel Walsh crossing the line, making it look very easy for Queensland, capitalising on that driving error from New South Wales. And wow, tables have turned very quickly, James.
Yeah, Rochelle Davis taking the run. Ball unfortunately left behind, and Queensland very quickly on the counter-attack, managing to open up a bit of space. And you mentioned it, Walsh was excellent there, just dinking on a run, putting the New South Wales defenders in two minds, and she took full advantage of it. So the work now, all having to come from New South Wales, as wrapping around is Dufour. Dufour comes forward. Davis close to the line, finds Dufour, and there we go. That's another try for New South Wales. They've linked it up, and they've evened it up.
Again, straight hit back from New South Wales. It's good to see. We saw Queensland in the first half of the first half defend 6 defensive sets on their line, and New South Wales not able to cross. But now 2 tries to New South Wales. Bit of a closer game than last night where it was 4-0 to Queensland. And we saw the mixed opens. Queensland have already taken home the shield in that category. It was a great game between New South Wales and Queensland, but Queensland really coming into their own late in the game. Can the Women's Opens, Queensland's girls do it as well through Maddox?
Oh, good touch coming across, though, there from Dufour. She's just scored a try. She's now saved one there. And this is, of course, crucial, this fixture for New South Wales. You mentioned that series claimed in the mixed open for Queensland. Well, in this division, 4-0 victory in the first match for Queensland. So New South Wales must keep pace with them here. They need to get a result by full time. Working away from their own end. Still yet to see Hannah Dybel back out there since that injury. So hopefully she'll be all right to take her place as this match unfolds. See if we can get any updates. As it does, they head towards their transition box once more. Rogers popping in at dummy half. I think that might even be Dybel now. No, it's not.
Yeah, she is. She's coming on the field.
Okay, so Dybel is there. She's strapped up heavily off the back of it too. So essentially a hamstring or quad issue that she might have picked up. But Dybel drives forward, back into the action. Courtney Young now. Young shifting it on. Oh, the pressure was really good though. Stepping up was Tiani Bryce.
Fortunately, Michaelopoulos probably needed to switch back under Courtney Young, driving her into the corner. No space to move whatsoever. Queensland now back on the attack.
Bryce comes forward now. Files. Good meters from her. Shifting on quickly. Markey out of acting half. Finds Andresen.
Ooh.
Oh, they pulled. What did they call that? Offside, I believe.
Yeah, Nicholas just getting caught probably a bit short of the referee. Again, gifting Queensland good field position. They got Sargent scored a great try yesterday out in the left-hand link. He looked dangerous off that sweeper play, so he could be getting her into the action now through Sargent.
Once more driving towards the line. Or did the touch get in there in time for Nicholas? No, referee walks back into the in goal. That always means trouble for the defensive line. And Queensland collect their third try. Back into the ascendancy they go.
Well, Courtney Young's claiming she didn't even touch the Queensland player before playing the ball. You can see here, watch Courtney Young's reaction. No touch, no touch, no touch, sir.
Oh.
So
Let's see another angle of that if we can.
It's up to the discretion of the referee. If he doesn't see the no touch, he can't call a no touch. So unfortunately for New South Wales, the referee has obviously missed it or hasn't caught it and gifted Queensland a 1-point buffer late in first half.
Davis shifting on to his sister Danny Davis. Oh, great footwork off the left boot. Drops it off now. Numbers in support. Rochelle Davis coming forward. Oh, both the White Cats are in there and they both made the touch at the same time. It was Curtis and also I think Tiani Bryce out there. So unable to squeeze through a gap with just under 3 minutes remaining in the first half here. The Women's Open Division. 3-2 Queensland with a slight lead. Much better performance in this second stint though from New South Wales. They've opened up a bit of space here. Files back onto the field now and continues driving upfield. Good set so far from Queensland. Maddock is out there too. He now waits at acting half. Maddock with ball in hand. The flat pass comes. Oh, Rogers stood stern in defence. Great touch from Semi.
Markey was standing on the wing waiting for it.
Last play now for Queensland. Long ball comes. Definitely floated forward though. Forward out of the hands as well. And no real rush here is Semi Rogers to collect the ball. I think they'd be quite happy to get into half time at this point, even down by the one try. It's a much improved performance compared to game one.
Definitely, and they've really taken the sting out of Queensland's attack. I mean, Paige Markey, she was the lead try scorer for Queensland last year with 4 tries over the 3 games, and they've yet to go her way. They've yet to receive a long ball. So there's obviously something out there that Queensland are yet to find as we see a ball go to ground. And I'll tell you, if Queensland score in this set, it's gonna drop the heads of New South Wales and really boost Queensland's confidence.
Here is Bryce. Shifted on further now. Finds Files. First touch coming in there. Once more Lucia looking for a little opening. Touch comes in. Back to the centre of the pitch now. Still an option is My back on the middle. It won't go that way. Bryson heading forward. Ooh, I think that might have been an indiscretion in the play the ball. Yes, it certainly was. Not playing it square. The New South Wales gifted possession here with just over a minute on the clock. Can they launch one final raid? Try and tie things up into half time. They'll have to go the length of the field to do so. Nicholas pops it there for Rogers. Nicholas again in acting half. Well, geez, I don't know about that. That was, I mean, that was probably a metre forward.
You're down by 1. There's a minute to go. Just hold the ball and complete the set. Just get the ball up the other end of the field. Again, you're gifting Queensland. They've already shown how dominant they can be close to the line, and they send the likes of Walsh, Maimai, and Andreas send onto the field.
Oh, geez, just reeling in there was my. Andreasen now with the ball. Still no touch coming. Off it off to my. Referee not happy with how New South Wales had pushed up off their line there. So
Gotta move along. Got to make a strike touch now, Queensland. New South Wales don't need to make a touch.
it's pretty much the last play for them. 5 seconds on the clock. New South Wales marking out well. Young comes in with the touch. The siren might beat them before they play it. Our clock is gone. This will be the last here for Queensland before half time. New South Wales know what they need to do, and Hannah Dybel does exactly that. So, whilst they might go in at half time down by 1, I think there's plenty to work on there for New South Wales, and we'll find out if they can stage a comeback in the second half in about 5 minutes' time.
You've been a fantastic supporter of the Touch Football and NRL partnership. Are you impressed with the talent that's being produced by both our male and female players?
Yeah, I think every time I watch the touch, I get more and more impressed. I think when we look at pathways to rugby league, and you look at the way parents look at our game, this is the perfect pathway for a kid coming through. It teaches you all the skills, showcases speed, and the biggest thing about touch is working together, and that's everything we try to, we assist on our teams.
The weather has played some havoc this weekend with the Junior State Cup organisers, but our youngest ones are enjoying themselves. Did you ever play in conditions as tough as this?
Absolutely. When I grew up, I think we spent like 2 months of the year playing on grounds like this where, councils never seem to cancel the venue, which happens every week now, which is crazy. And you just learn to play in the mud. I also spent plenty of years over in England on kangaroo tours, playing on muddy ground, soaking wet, grey, raining, and absolutely loved it. And turning up yesterday, watching kids diving in the mud, diving in the water, and seeing the girls sit around in the mud, stinking, it just brings great resilience. And you know what could be better than being a teenager and stuck in mud?
State Cup now sees some of our ex-NRL players running around for their local touch association, like Nathan Fiend, Scott Prince, Steve Menzies, and Cliffy Lyons. What is it going to take to get you at the next State Cup? No pressure. But let's see you having a run around with those boys.
I'm not sure. I've done a few things where I've it's when your brain takes control of your body, and it hasn't helped me. I've trained with the girls a few times, and they're the 18s, they're pretty good. So a couple of times I try to show them up, and it cost me that night where I just lie down, had to ice. And so the body's telling me give me a few triggers at the moment, but I'll definitely try, because the area I sort of live in, Manly area, they love touch. The organisation's ran fantastic. I really wish they had a team in the state carnival that I watched before all the NRL games. So I know they're very ambitious about getting a team in soon, and they definitely deserve it. I think Manly are one of the sort of strongest clubs out of all the teams. So
any future talent you've kept your eye on this weekend for maybe an up-and-coming State of Origin player?
Heaps of talent. There is talent galore here, and obviously not just men either. I think the girls, if anyone, just watching them improve over the years has been incredible. So I know a lot of them are starting to play tackle football now, and then just getting them passing a footy, I think, is just a great thing. But there is talent galore, both male and female.
Welcome back to the second half here for the Women's Open Division at Coffs Harbour CX International Stadium. A really well-positioned match here. New South Wales with a bit of work to do. They trail by 1 try, 3-2. Queensland lead. It is a do-or-die fixture for New South Wales. Queensland having won the first game of a 3-match series, 4 tries to nil. Jackson, how can New South Wales get their way back into this one?
Well, they need to score first. need to score first. This first try, either be at Queensland or New South Wales, will sum up the next 10 minutes of the second half. It'll really implement who has the momentum through the first stages. But New South Wales have the ball. Let's see if they can capitalise.
Course off the first set. In the first half, Queensland were able to score. One try is the buffer, so potentially New South Wales with a chance to pull that one back here. Long ball comes. Oh, Rogers had stepped inside the defensive marquee there, and I think had she taken it, might have actually been all right for her. Get across that line and potentially even things up, but Queensland can now work it away from their own end. 10 shy of halfway and now quickly up over it. Great momentum in this set. Curtis comes as an option now. Files picking up plenty of meters with the long strides. Long ball comes, all just falling short of the run of Kearney.
Yeah, Susie picking up strong out of half. Unfortunately, the pass wasn't there, just the execution on it falling a bit short, but looks good from Queensland through their first set, looking very dominant going forward. Nice strike touch, and they got the likes of Matic. Kearney coming out of half with some real potential. Again, another error. We spoke about it last night. James, a lot of errors in the first game for New South Wales, and they just can't afford to give the strike power of Queensland any good field position like they did just then.
Queensland was certainly guilty of errors in that first half at one point. 7 sets and 6 errors within that space of time. Oh, long ball comes under pressure from Rochelle Davis in defence. Still live here for Tiani Bryce. Drops it off and now Andresen shifting, heading towards the centre of the pitch. Straighten back up now for Queensland. Andresen once more. Oh, touchdown. That will be another set here for Queensland. Nicholas, did she have to play it that one though?
Well, she did have to play it. They would have scored otherwise. But I mentioned it in the first half. They're using Matic as a decoy, and we didn't actually see her sweep from right to left. They scored 3 tries off Matic's sweeper from that right-hand side coming around. And you saw her to adjust there, electing to go back against the New South Wales defence. If they can get Matic with ball in hand, she does look dangerous.
Matic long ball now. That's exactly what you're calling for, and I think they've got to ground in time here, Queensland. Yes, they have indeed. They pick up their 4th try of the match. Now things become quite difficult for New South Wales here. The margin is 2.
Well, it was 3 tries last night from the assist of that lady there, Hayley Matic, throwing right to left. On this case, throwing left to right, so she's got all the tricks in the pocket. And Rackerman finishing off the goods in the corner. Not an easy one. Getting her body on the line. Great try for Queensland.
Duff now. Shifting it on. And Maiolo comes forward. Little dummy. Hopped in there from Maiolo on this occasion. Oh, intercept. Here comes Queensland. Distance. From Sargent. In this quarter. A great little run from Duff. Still danger here for New South Wales, though. Pressure on. Oh, great pressure though in defence as well. Stepping up to make an important touch, which forced the loss of possession. Well, they needed that there, New South Wales.
Queensland not going to be happy with that. They needed to complete that set. They had New South Wales absolutely cooked on the back foot. Great intercept by Sargent. Great awareness in the defensive line. Plucked it straight out of the air. And Sammy Rogers chased her down, but good super coach points there by Sargent, running at least 50 metres on the trot.
Crawford came up with excellent pressure to stop the momentum. Take nothing away from her efforts there to put pressure on the ball carrier, who immediately dropped it. Queensland once more, though, able to work it away from their own end. Oh, heavy contact there on Susie. Forward they drive now, certainly charging in there. In defence was Michael Apolos. Now they'll play it on halfway here, New South Wales. So the changeover comes. Still errors in this Queensland side, despite how clinical they've been close to the line. That was close to being a changeover as well. And then a mix-up on the following play. So it's all happening here at Stadium CEX. Rochelle Davis drives forward. Flat pass at the line. Rochelle Davis back through the middle. Flattery is there, but the touch comes across. So hard to breach this Queensland defence. They'll get one more crack at them in this set. Flattery straightens, then off the right foot, opening up half a gap. But covering across nicely in defence was Tiani Bryce. That's good stuff from her.
Not a bad attacking set either by New South Wales. Nearly coming up with a try opportunity through Rochelle Davis, getting the ball back on the inside, working in conjunction with Slattery. But again, Sargent and Tiani Bryce doing their bit for the state with their try-saving touches on that occasion. And Referee playing all clear through here. Queensland with a good drive on.
It was Bryce with a nice driving run. Files now picking up the ball and having a crack at them. Won't mind too much that she was caught there on the last. She picked up plenty of meterage, and that was all that play required. The New South Wales have to work it away deep from their own end here. They're also quite a long distance from their substitutions box. So clever play there to close out the set from Queensland as Danny Davis heads towards the sideline. Fresh players back on the field. Maiolo is there. Offered it off. Little bobble as well. Bit of an awkward end to that set there. The last couple of plays weren't particularly clinical from New South Wales. Means good field position here for Queensland. Files dropped it off. Now Markey getting up into dangerous territory. And that was an error that really had no pressure to bring it about, Jackson.
Not at all. Queensland just losing their way a bit. They lost it in the first half, losing it again early in the second. But New South Wales doing well on those touches 1 and 2. They struggled a lot last night. But Queensland doing, funnily enough, a lot of a bit of a
to 4 with a basketball style pass. Thought it might have travelled forward though. And yes, referee on the spot to rule exactly that. It was an awkward one. She wanted to delay the pass, but I don't know if that's the way to do it.
I've not seen that before in touch footing. Very interesting play by Dufour. If it comes up with a try, it doesn't matter how it comes off as long as there's a try. Queensland now with a good drive.
Andresen up over halfway. Here comes some support now in the form of Sargent, who couldn't quite go the distance from that intercept. Bryce now has them backpedaling. Files back through the middle. Long ball shoots it across. Good cover though from Crawford. No matter who took it, Crawford would have taken them.
Well, they had Mara Thomas and Olivia Goodsill standing on the same player, so someone was in the wrong. I think it was Thomas not running the unders line into the link that actually made the winger make a decision. So the winger just had to make a touch on both players. So unfortunately, a missed opportunity there by Queensland, really running the New South Wales defensive line very laterally, turning them inside and out, creating numbers well. Again, it just seems Queensland, James, on touches 3, 4, and 5 are able to dominate New South Wales. They're doing well on touches 1 and 2, but just letting themselves down on touches 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, there was good momentum to start that set there, but unfortunately, you mentioned just falling apart at the death. Certainly able to get away from their own end. It's just launching those attacking plays at the death of the set. Drop down now from Carney. Now Forder comes here through Walsh. She's already picked up a try herself. Walsh delivers wide for Maddock. Maddock options back towards the middle, slows things down instead. Of course, New South Wales have to come up to that 7-metre mark. Last play now. Maddock, the long ball. Crawford caught in no man's land. And that's a great try there to Goodsill, who already picked up 2 tries in game 1.
Again, it comes down to Maddock. Great setup there by Rachel Walsh, just waiting for the New South Wales defensive line coming up. And look at Maddock, just come out of half, rip that long ball right to left. The speed of the ball just beats the New South Wales defensive line every single time. And credit to Goodsill as well, being able to take such an absolute rocket. Score on the outside of New South Wales. Well, that extends Queensland's lead again.
Makes things very difficult now for the Blues. Trail by 3. 4-0, of course, the score in the first match. That was enough for Queensland to secure victory. We know they're hard to breach. Another interesting pass option here from the Blues. They've certainly been looking to find ways around the defensive line. Queensland have frustrated them. Rogers touched just before going into touch. We'll come back to that 7-metre mark. Queensland's so hard to break down. That was the last play. So changeover to come.
Yeah, a bit of frustration there from New South Wales. Maiolo not giving the ball back on the spot. So Queensland march 10 metres further upfield. And it's just those little 1%ers, James. You can't give Queensland a sniff because they'll take a mile.
Files the left foot with 11 minutes remaining in this one. New South Wales need to score next. They've opened up a bit of space down that wing position. Rackerman picked up good metres. Fresh players onto the field now, including Thomas, who takes the run. Bryce is back out there. She's been good so far in this match. Bryce heading towards Maddock. And they've just once more crowded their link and wing positions together there, Jackson. I mean, we saw it last time they were on the line. Players just slightly out of position and unable to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah, Mark, you just probably needed to hold the touchline a little bit longer. Unfortunately, crowding the same hole that Maddock was trying to push through. You just hold that touchline. We said Markey was the lead try scorer for Queensland in last year's campaign. So if she can just hold that touchline, I'm sure she's going to get plenty more tries. As we see a little 6 again, cheeky hand in the passing lane from Carney.
Yeah, very clever play there from Davis. She knew exactly what she was doing. Passed directly into the opposition. Also created just a bit of shadow of doubt in the mind of the defensive line. Young, back now towards the middle. Straightening things up is Slattery. Slattery drops it off here to Young. Quick play the ball. Slattery out to Young. Once more watchful in defence though. Queensland. Incredibly hard to break down. Such a stoic unit. Slattery. Last play now. Here she goes. Diving from distance. I think Andresen got down quickly enough. In fact, that's Marama Thomas. And I'll say Thomas didn't get there in time. So great dive from Slattery. I'd love to see that one again though, Jackson.
Well, I think she got there. She got low very early and sliding in from about 4 to 3 metres out from the touchline, just sneaking under Thomas. I think it was on the replay. See where she dives from. Good outstretch. Oh, I tell you what,
Ooh.
the Carney missed her. Carney missed her. If she would have touched her, it would have been a touch, but great sportsmanship by Ash Carney. That's what touch football's all about. If you don't make the touch, don't call the touch.
The 5-3 now. Queensland, their margin reduced just slightly, but only for the slightest of moments. What a great ball at the death that was. Sargent picks it off and dives over, but that ball is an absolute killer.
If Sargent didn't pluck that out of the air from Andresen, it would have even hit the winger. Great mitts from Sargent. Look at this. In the process of falling, plucks it above her head. Again, extends that lead back to 3.
I think you're right. I think that was intended for the winger there. She's just snaffled it up though.
A little cheeky. She wants a try. I think Sargent scored plenty over the years, but again, showing why she's the key figure in that Queensland side.
So Davis with ball in hand. Danny Davis driving for once more. Huge dummy coming through. Now that was indeed cynical. She's not going to get 6 again from that. Passed into a hand that was already hanging down there.
I actually fell for the dummy as well, James. I was looking at where it was going to land, way out on the wing, but elects to hold it. Yeah, fortunately, referee correct in not signalling 6 again in Queensland now with a good drive forward.
Good tool to Matic. Last play now. Files picks it up. Matic once more off the right foot. Oh, gee, she's hard to handle. And they will call that another set of 6. You're waving for it in the box here, Jackson. You're spot on the money. Queensland with another chance to put on the pain here. Time is now beginning to become a factor here for New South Wales. Just over 7 minutes remaining. They trail by 3, and they need to at least send this one to a drop-off, because if they lose here, that is the series for them. Oh, left behind, and that could be crucial for New South Wales to try and get back into things. They'll play it quickly and pick up some easy meters. Duff finds Rogers. Good meters on display here in the first few plays. Continued for play number 3. Rogers now works it forward. Still got them backpedaling. This is a good set from New South Wales. However, on the 4th, there's nobody there to take full advantage of it. That's what you've been talking about, Jackson. Last play now. Young dumps it off, looking for support. The defence is there. They make the touch. And once more, it falls apart at the end of the set.
I mentioned they've really done well in tackles 1, 2. As we just saw there, New South Wales unable to capitalise on touch 4. There was no one at home. They had a terrific roll on. Queensland were absolutely cooked in the defensive line. There was no one there. Again, just not able to capitalise through the middle of the field. So we've seen yesterday they struggled on touches 1 and 2. Now they can't really dominate the middle of the park, and Queensland doing just that. However, Queensland have had a lot of errors in this game. I'd say more than 10.
Oh, easily more than 10. We had 6 in the space of 7 sets in the first half. Been a real difficult time for their handling at certain points in this match. Perfect conditions, though, it must be said. There's not a drop of water on the field at all. Beautiful sunshine, about 20, 21 degrees
this will be
here.
close.
Oh, they just got there in time.
Wow, what hands off the deck by Pappenhausen.
We've
diving
talked
and
about
passed that off the ground.
the
Wow.
transitional struggles they've had. That was a great example of it right there. Last play now for New South Wales. It's still like if they can get away the ball quickly. Davis does so, but nowhere to go. They'll simply run into touch. Pappenhausen, who might have come up with a perler to start that set, can't do anything about that particular piece of play. With just over 5 minutes remaining, it is now desperate times for New South Wales. They pretty much need to score next set.
Have to score. Have to score. I know it's an obvious statement, but it has to be said, doesn't it, James? Queensland continue their domination through the middle of the park, through the likes of Sargent, just evading left and right. Look at
Oh,
it go. This is
still going.
amazing from Sargent. 7 on called by the referee.
Well, that could help New South Wales here. They certainly need something to try and pull this one out of the fire. 4.5 to go. Pressure comes up here. Jamming in on the run of Slattery. And further forward there with Michaelopoulos. Slattery slows it down once more. There's just so much pressure in defence. The Lynx are pushing up nicely and shutting down any wide options. Very strong work as well from the middles. Rogers picks up a bit of space here. Slattery, it's still a bit of pedestrian here from New South Wales. They can't go anywhere. Pressure is too much. Files jams in and the ball is dropped, and that should just about do it.
Yeah, Queensland don't need a big buffer to really hold their lead, and they've got a 3-point buffer, as we mentioned. So they're probably relaxed, probably calm, Queensland. Nothing really to panic about. New South Wales might be getting a little bit frustrated, but just have to hold on to the end.
Sammy Joe Curtis driving forward on the last play. Left behind there. Referees are happy to say, New South Wales, have a crack yourself. Curtis makes the touch. Michaelopoulos out of acting half and then finds the support of Duff. Forward they drive now. Through Piahuka Duff. Dropped off from Davis. Nice quick roll ball as well. Good strike jump. Davis over the top. Finding support. Oh, took in well from Crawford, but the defence was spot on from Markey, who kept the width beautifully.
Well, it was a touch from Markey, but Pappenhausen did well to reel that one in. Would have been a try.
Oh, here we go for
get it, but it is
Queensland, though.
Rackerman.
Rackerman with a bit of open space all the way up to halfway. So no matter what, meters are coming quite freely here, Queensland, even when they're under the pump. They know exactly how to evade this New South Wales defence. Less than 3 minutes to go. Bryce goes short. Finds an option to Marama Thomas. Back to the 7-metre mark. She'll come here. Still a couple of plays for Queensland. Bryce dummies and then turns it back on the inside. Happy to slow things down here. Last play now. Bryce off the left foot. That's sharp work. Can she open things up? Oh, great touch coming in from Danny Davis. They just worked it to give themselves half an opportunity there.
Tiani Bryce could have just kept running. She had no one around her. She'd beaten her defender. But electing to pass, I've seen it so many times. A lot of dummy half runners, they panic as soon as they cross the try line. They think, oh, I've got to get rid of it. If you just check over your shoulder, just a quick little look either side, more times than not, you've got more space than you think you do and more time than you think you do. So just hold on to the ball and continue to go through into the in-goal. It also gives your teammates enough time to sort of separate from their defender, allowing them to become an option.
Sargent doing her best Russell impersonation and running directly sideways across the pitch. Now Files trying to find an opening. And with less than 2 minutes remaining, Queensland know they had this one sewn up. And as a result, they have the Women's Open Division sewn up. The 4-0 victory in the first match. An improved performance from New South Wales, but Queensland have been so strong. Both halves here. Last play now, Sargent. They'll fire it over the top. Looking for Rackerman. New South Wales will get a chance here to work it away from their own end and maybe a consolation try. Queensland know what their job is. They just have to make each touch. They don't have to panic with the ball in hand. Nothing flash, nothing fancy. Young tips it on as they head towards their substitutions box. Transition has been a problem for New South Wales throughout this match. That one's a little bit better. We haven't seen a great deal of Dybel since that injury. She hasn't featured much in the second half. Still on the sideline there as well, Hannah Dybel. So hopefully she'll be all right for game 3, Jackson.
Yeah, I hope so. But you can see the body language in New South Wales on the bench, hands on heads, down on their haunches. I know Queensland have been too dominant for them throughout this campaign as Queensland looking for another try through likes of Maddock and Andreasen.
Well, here is Maddock now. Engaging the defenders. Back to Andreasen. 20 seconds on the clock, and they're going to wind down as much of it as they can. Before actually lets out a bit of a laugh in defence. That's quite fun to see. Great ball over the top. Oh, nearly taken in from Pappenhausen. Jackson's true colours are starting to show in the box.
Still a good defensive read by Pappenhausen. If he didn't get a hand to it, Queensland were going in again.
And that will do it there for Queensland. So 2 matches in a row, 2 series wrapped up in a row. The Women's Open division is claimed by the Maroons. That really does heap the pressure on New South Wales overall. Of course, each individual division heading towards the overall winner of the tournament here for State of Origin 2022. And that is a big result for Queensland. The full-time score, 6-3, which means the series is claimed following a 4-0 victory in Game 1. There is more action still to come your way in just a moment. I believe the Men's Open will be next. We'll be catching up with one of the players shortly. Make sure to keep it locked here on Bar TV.